Hi, everyone. We're here.
Hi.
We're dancing in.
Hello.
I love that music. How is everybody? I'm so glad you're here. I see that there were two. Here's Denise. Denise became a member. Thank you so much, Denise. Woo! And then also Cynthia Smith. Thank you. I am honored. We've been talking back and forth. She's been attending a lot of my places, and you became a member. And I really, really appreciate you. Anyone who takes the time to comment, to like, subscribe, share, become a member, just saying thanks just means the world to me, to us. I'll
Yes,
speak for you.
really
That's what,
important. Yes,
and
well, it's really important. We can't have any channel we'll get no algorithm results.
that's right. I think you might have to speak up a little bit. Can everyone
Oh,
hear Lalit all right?
I was mumbling.
Oh,
I'll speak a little bit louder. Yeah, my microphone is hidden back there. I'll move it forward a little bit later.
okay. Well, I do want to talk about a few little things first about my um, memberships. I have 3 levels. One is, I think, $4.99. They have these odd numbers you have to click. It's $4.99, and it's just simply thank you. And it's like you are supporting my success for just because, and I really appreciate that. I have 2 levels after that. One is if you want to learn the tarot, and that's $19.99 for the month, and we meet twice a month, and it's live on Zoom, and I get you wherever you want to go, anywhere you want to go. You will improve. And also, every session I have, I teach you how to do an awesome reading, the protocol, and all of that stuff. The third is, I can't remember the price. It's over $19.99. It's the third level, and that's learn tarot and numbers. So that's when I mix up everything. People who don't know the tarot could get a little lost in that, but still, I mean, it's small enough each time that if you show up, you'll get maybe even just a private session with me. I mean, it can happen. People are busy right now. I meet every other Wednesday at noon Pacific for the Learn Tarot and Numbers thing. So I just wanted to do that. Also, there was something else I wanted to share today because everyone here, hi Ness, it's good to see you. Louisa, oh, here's Louisa. Louisa wanted to get a hold of Lalit, and we'll get you together here in a minute. You all are light workers. All of your friends and family know that because you are walking the talk, you're educating yourself, you're interested in the psychic sciences. You may have someone, well, I'll tell you this story. I had a young woman, she was in her 20s, and she came up and we said hello, and she said, I said, oh, it was the Mayan calendar ending. Oh, the Mayan calendar is ending. I just love talking about it. And she was quiet. And then she said, can you tell me what that means? Do I have to do something? And I said, no. She was scared. She thought it could end like Y2K. And I said, the sun will rise and the sun will set, and everything in between will be just like any other day. So there are people around you that may be nervous about the big eclipse. It's all on the news, and but it is, the sun will rise and be shadowed a little bit, but then the sun will set. So comfort those people around that are a little nervous about it. So those were the 2 things I wanted to mention. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it, and for showing up. It's so nice to have you. And I do see Ness had a question, but I haven't read that. Oh yeah, she has. I'm going to star your question, Ness, so I don't forget it, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. And is there? Just have to check here now.
Unless to check her email. I sent her stuff.
Ness, did
Yeah,
you get your email? Did you get your report? Hi, SR Kish.
Suzanne. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm confused. I confused
Oh,
with the last name. Ness versus Kish. I'm wrong. I sent the email to Suzanne. But I wanted to
Suzanne
show
Kish.
Suzanne. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I'm
she
sorry.
says, okay, good, good, good. Thank you for my email. So wonderful. Louisa, I'm not sure what to do, but just I do have a banner here while our friend Lalit is speaking. I'm going to be having this banner up. That is her, well, I can just put it in the chat as well, her email address. So if it's not going through,
Yeah, Louisa, I checked. I didn't see anything from you. There are a few other people that I got emails from, and I have to apologize because I only sent out one because I got involved in a manifestation
oh my
overload. Like,
God.
it was something
It
crazy.
was amazing. Now you had said last week that this is it's the manifesting year because it's an 8 universal year, but holy cow. Well, I want to make sure we have, I don't know if you want to share the story, but I
Well,
would love.
I'll tell people, but I was just speaking to Debra, and I said, oh, I'm sitting in bed. I said, I had to buy a little old, I got a used laptop from Walmart. So, because I got too tired sitting at the big computer and I needed to relax. So I got myself a laptop, but I can't do astrology charts because it doesn't have enough power. And then the next, the next day I went to get my mail and there was a sign on a piece of paper that said, free computer tower with the monitor, keyboard, and mouse. And so I live in an apartment building, so I went right over and knocked on the door. Sure enough, and it's in perfect working order. And this lady's moving into an assisted living, so she's has to get rid of all her stuff. So she said, "Well, I have this beautiful island for the kitchen." And I looked at it and I went, "Wow." And she said, I have this recliner, and it was like a massage chair and all of this stuff. So I spent the whole day moving furniture because it was just me alone with my little wagon, and some of this stuff was really big and heavy. Now I can't even get in my front door because I just kind of just put it inside the front door. I didn't really put it in where it's going to go, and so I can hardly move around here. But that was my day, and I did more of it again today. And as soon as we're done here, I have to go help her do one last thing to donate her books to the library. I'm going to pack them up for her, and so that is my excuse. But
I'm
I'm
sticking to
going to
it.
do charts tomorrow. I will get if you've sent me an email already, everything will be done by Sunday night. I promise. And I'm stubborn as a mule, and I'll sit there till it's done. So you'll have everything Saturday or Sunday, and I
Ah, that's
swear.
great. I love that. Well, next week you're going to be we're going to be focusing on manifestation. I mean,
Yes,
this
I'm
gal,
going to do that.
this Lalit over here, this girl over here,
It's crazy.
I mean it. She
I
says,
get
"Oh,
stuck with
she'll open her door and whatever she wants is right on the other side of it." I
it.
am not kidding you.
Crazy.
So we need
It's
to
really
pay
crazy.
attention
So I'm
to
going to
that
give you
for sure.
my best tips, and it's just a little bit of advice about that, and tell you about there are some really good days coming up after the eclipse that are going to be really special, and you'll be armed and ready to go. And it's good advice because you'll feel better too. And so we can do
Awesome.
that next week. So next week will be manifestation special.
Manifestation station. Louise, you tried several times. If you go to my website which is growyourlight.com, or just my name, debrazacco.com. All of my contact information is there, and I'll bridge you two together. Don't put your email, in the chat right now. Just give me your email and we'll figure it out. We're not going to let you go. And I don't know how to. Oh, look at that beautiful, beautiful face here. Hanamara. Oh gosh. How
Marama.
Hanamara Ma. Oh, I love that Hawaiian as
That
Hanamara
looks
Rama. Oh
even
boy,
more.
I'm going to practice this. I know
Yes.
I massacred it. Thank you so much. You have this deck. I appreciate it.
You are going to love it. Her lessons are fantastic.
That
I
thank
love
you
it.
so much. I went. I have some videos on how to read the tarot with this deck, and it's a training, and it's just a video class, and I created it when I didn't know how to edit videos. So I had to start and finish and try not to mess up in between. It was miserable trying to make that. And it is absolutely kind of raw because it was my first one, but I think the information is pretty good.
It is really great.
Thank you.
It's really great.
And that's at,
Nothing.
yeah, you can access that at training.growyourlight.com. There was someone else coming in. Oh, here we go. I got a lesson from Ness. Whenever pronouncing new words, a trick, do the first syllable, then the first and second syllable, then the first and second and third, and do it until you say the whole the whole word. Yes, I will definitely practice that. I find that name fascinating. Thank you. Welcome. I want to get your name right. That is a great idea. So now I'm going to set aside if we have any questions about what I just went over. Ness says she uses that for French word. Of course, Ness would be multilingual. I think that's great. So I'm going to turn it over to Lalit, and she's going to give us all the lowdown on what's coming
Well,
up.
since the eclipse is coming, we really have to talk about that one last time. I hope that you're not getting bored or tired of it, but hopefully you'll have some new information and some things that you can put to good practical use. So just if there are newcomers, or in case you're forgetting, we have the total solar eclipse. It will be in Aries, but it's also a super moon because the moon is extremely close to the Earth. So it's appearing larger in the sky. And this will be even more powerful for that reason also. Today, I'm going to show you the chart briefly of the eclipse. We're just going to look at the main planetary influences today. We're not going to talk about. There are some important asteroids and dwarf planets, but I want to keep it short and sweet today, so we're not going to talk about those today. It will occur at 19 degrees, 24 minutes of Aries. So if you need to jot down the info, 11:21 a.m. Pacific, 2:21 p.m. Eastern. They do have those on YouTube. They have live feeds where you can watch it in case you're in a place where you're not available, or if, like Linda G, you bought your ticket in Houston, in Texas, and it might rain, then she can watch it on a live feed too after going all the way there. I hope she gets to see it. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. So look at your chart to see where this falls. And if you don't have a chart, I'm going to work like a dog to get them to everybody. So if you're a new person and you want one, so Debra has my email address, and I will get it to you before the eclipse. So go ahead and I can send it over to you. And the house position shows what area of life it's going to be effective for you. Now, here's something important. The orb, we call it orb, and that doesn't have to do with spirit orbs. the orb of influence is approximately plus or minus 3 degrees. This would be like, when you see newscasters showing an election poll, and this is plus or minus 2 points within that. That's the orb of the influence of the pole might swing one way or the 2 degrees to the left or 2 degrees to the right. So in astrology, there's an exact degree when they're both together exactly. That's when you have a total eclipse. They have to be in the same degree. Now, you might have planets close, but not exact. So, kind of a rule of thumb for the eclipse is to say approximately 3 degrees plus or minus. So, if it's at 19, you look around your horoscope and see, do you have anything less than 3 degrees from 19? That'd be 16. Or 3 degrees more than 19, that'd be 22. So from between 16 and 22 degrees, if you have something anywhere on your chart, that will be an influence for you, especially if it's in a cardinal sign. Aries is a cardinal sign. Cardinal means, it comes from the word like in a compass rose, it says north, south, east, and west. So that has the 4 lines that are 90 degrees apart. In your horoscope, the cardinal signs are those that would appear like the compass rose. The horizon, your ascendant and descendant, and then the midheaven and down below in the natural chart are all the signs that are cardinal. They are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, and they start the segment, and they're the beginnings. So each of those is an initiator in its department, and Aries being the fire, and the first one up is the big initiator. But if you have anything in a cardinal sign between 16 and 22, that's a challenge for you. That's a big one. And any planets in those with those numbers are going to be feeling the eclipse more than other places. Okay, I hope I explained that okay. If you need further, if you have a question about that, you could put it in the chat. Excuse me. So now the eclipse doesn't occur in a vacuum. It's a sequence of astrological events that are occurring, and we're in the biggest confluence of astrological events in probably the history of humanity. No kidding. The biggest things are happening that have never happened before. For example, we've talked about the age of Aquarius starting, and we will talk about that more, but not right now because we'll get sidetracked. We're going to do that another time. But each astrological age, like the age of Aquarius, lasts about 2,000 years. So, when you usher in a change like that, it's really dramatic, and it affects an eon. Whole civilizations of people are under the influence of that. So that's a big, like, steamroller event that affects everyone for a long period of time, as opposed to the opposite, which would be the shortest event, a little lunar transfer that would just be a one-day thing, and you may feel it really intensely in your emotions, and then the next day you said, why was I thinking yesterday? It's like you wake up with a hangover or something like that. It's just something ephemeral. So the age of Aquarius is, as we know, a grand awakening. And since Pluto, which is the planet of big change of a deep type, is also entering the sign of Aquarius the first 250 years. That's another big event that's pointing us in a certain direction. All of you who are the light workers are helping usher in this age. And so it's a kind of cosmic tapestry that we just haven't witnessed, and it's a harbinger of a completely new experience for humanity. And we've never witnessed it quite before. And the consciousness is expanding of all of humanity. And at this particular moment in time, the scientists are saying that the sun is particularly active. It's having little explosions of energy and solar flares and magnetic out, outcroppings because the sun is being just intensely activated. So we're feeling all of that, and the all the planets are bunched together. So this eclipse is not like other ones because it's going to be more powerful for all of those reasons and for the effect that the chart itself is really unusual because all the planets are bunched together. Eclipses are always transformational. They always are relating to changes. And some of the old cycles might be ending and new cycles beginning. With the lunar type eclipse, that is more where the old cycles ending. And for that, it sometimes can be more traumatic. And the solar eclipse, like we're about to experience, is going to be more transformational in the sense of new beginnings. The eclipses come close to the lunar nodes, which on a horoscope. Let me show you the chart so you can see it. They come. The lunar nodes are signs of the past and the future, like past karma and future karma. So this is the eclipse chart of the solar eclipse coming up. And you can see that here's the sun. I'm going to make a little yellow mark on it. And there's the moon. And both of them are near the north node. The north node, I'm pointing to it now, looks like the dragon's head, is an indication of where humanity and individuals are heading, your future. The south node, which is in the opposite place, is where that lunar eclipse just happened, down here. The lunar eclipse happened at the south node, showing it was relating to our past karma and resolving issues and ending the cycle. This one is more about new beginnings. And so, and new directions. And this is something that lasts for a long time. We're going to feel this eclipse for at least 6 months and probably more. And you should look at this as an energy portal. So it's not like it's something scary or negative. It's like a vortex of energy that can magnify what you put into it. So you know that one of the cosmic principles is what you put out is what you get back. So if you're a light worker, you're not going to experience, big tragedies because you are going to be gaining a momentum in the positive area. So, and this is a super important idea toward our materialization thing we're going to talk about next week, because whatever you focus on, whatever that is what materializes in your reality. So you need to become very mindful of all the thoughts that go around in your brain, because whatever those thoughts are lead to generally emotional changes, and then they change, then they go to actions, and then pretty soon, you're seeing big signs in your life of what you've been thinking about. Let me show you a chart. I want to show you Suzanne's chart. We were talking about how in your own horoscope you can see what area of life you're going to feel it manifest, what area this solar eclipse will be for you. And her chart, so this is Suzanne, she's Canadian. And if you think about the horizon of a horoscope, let me get the horizon drawn on a little bit, we'll make it a different color. So here's the horizon, and that's the ascendant side. There's the descendant. Those are the cardinal points of a horoscope. And anything you have near those points is magnified in strength. This is the midheaven, the highest point, where the sun would be if it were noon. In fact, this eclipse is happening, this is close to noon in the West Coast. So it's going to be up at the top part of the chart. Anyway, you can see this is a good example because astrology is very clear when you look at it this way. The ascendant and descendant horizon separates the daylight stuff, where the sun is up high, with the midnight stuff, the upper part. If you have all your planets at the top, you're a more extroverted person. If all your planets underneath, you tend to be more introverted. And the very top, the midheaven, is career and work. And I'm pointing this out because Suzanne had a question about what would be happening in her life in the near future regarding work. Well, look where this eclipse is happening. It's all in the work area. This is the midheaven. And we just said this eclipse is going to give new beginnings in the area of your chart where you're going to see it. So she's going to definitely have opportunities for new beginnings. And I would like to point out that in her natal chart, she has Saturn, I'm circling it in green, at exactly conjunct the midheaven. And geeky astrologers such as myself, you probably won't hear this anywhere else, but Saturn conjunct the midheaven is a classic sign for someone who comes to a career breakthrough much later in life. And they can get some notoriety and do really well, but later in life. So you can expect changes later in life if you have Saturn up there. She also has the Sun and Mercury, and all of these things are in her house of career, with everything from the eclipse sitting right there. So yes, there's going to be a lot of activity, and I think this is a clear example of how the astrology can answer your question. Am I going to have a change with my career? Well, I'd say, yeah, for sure. There's a whole bunch of things that are going to gates that are possibilities, and very energetic new direction in the career area. And that's how you look at your horoscope. You see, where is that happening? And I'm sending this chart to everybody. This is the yellow ring. Inside is your natal chart, and outside of the yellow ring is the eclipse itself. So you see how it relates to your own chart. So we notice that it's all Aries things, and Aries is the sign of I am. It's the self and new beginnings. It's a fire sign ruled by Mars. So that's a clue as to why we can see all of these wars and conflicts that we're experiencing. And in America in particular, Aries is opposite Libra, the sign of law and legal, the judges, the tarot card of the Hierophant of the judge sitting on the bench, and all of the people in our justice system that are involved in those court cases are being their lives are being threatened, and this is something that's never happened before. I heard people, lawyers talking. They said even mafia people never bothered the judges and the prosecutors and the legal profession, because they knew that was not. Just another one would take their place, and they would still be they would be in worse trouble than ever. So it's never really happened like this before, that people's lives are threatened just because they're the daughter of a judge or something like that. That's a terrible thing. And death threats for public servants has just skyrocketed. And hopefully, this is not gonna. It will last probably for the year, several months. It's going to go on, but not forever, because we are heading out of this phase. So don't worry about that. It's going to change. And we talked about Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. That's also a good one for Suzanne. It's shedding of the past that no longer serves you. It's very expansive. The operative word here is sudden change, unexpected. You didn't expect it was going to happen. And it's not gradual. It's that kind of change that you're going along, then at one plateau, then suddenly you're in a different place. And in this kind of a transit, the present, the eternal present, and the power of here and now is the rule. And here's a tip that might be helpful for everybody. When you want to learn how astrology works, the best case study is yourself. You will learn more from observing your own life than any textbook. So one really good thing to do is to go back over your past and look at moments in your life that have been major turning points or important, whether either from an emotional standpoint, like you might have got married or divorced, or whether you have a big change in health, any kind of crisis, family situation, money changes, career accidents, big tragedies, marriages, divorces, deaths, big moves, anything that was important to you, that as you felt it was important in your life. And you could make a little list of, if you know when those events happened, then you can study the cycles, because it'll come, most cycles, well, Saturn is like 28 years, Mars is every couple of years, Jupiter's like 14 years, and you, if it's caused by a particular, you can see what was happening at the first one that you experience, and when it comes back again, you can be more prepared because you have an idea of the kind of situation you're going to run into. Now, it's not like a circle as much as it is a spiral. So it's a similar situation at maybe a slightly different level, but it will involve the same kind of energy. So if you can put down some of those dates and be as accurate as you can, it will really help. And here's one that everybody can do right now, because regarding this eclipse that's happening, strangely, there was such an eclipse um, in the year 2005. Oh, yeah, I can show it to you. In the year 2005, on April the 8th, very strangely, coincidence, but it happened at the same day, April the 8th in 2005, there was a total solar eclipse. And I set it up so that you could get a little bit of look at it. It's not as big an event as ours is now, because you see the planets are more spread out, but here it is in Aries. So I set it up. I'm about 2 hours off on the eclipse, because I was just wanting to make sure I had the right year. But you can see there's the sun and moon, and there's the north node. So it also is a solar eclipse heading in the future direction. But all the other planets are spread around. They're not all bunched together like the one. You can just visually see the difference. But if you can think back to April 8th, 2005, maybe there was some kind of big event in your life happening then. And just think about that. And if you can come up with something, that would be a clue to you as to what you think you're going to see this time around. So that was April 8th, 2005. That whole period, it's not just for one day. A big solar eclipse like that, as I mentioned, will be effective like a month before the eclipse and at least 6 months after. So it's not just a day, because it's a turning point, where things change direction. Okay. So that will really help you understand things. Now, guys, maybe you didn't notice it. Mercury just went retrograde. We talked about it before, but there's so many things we've been talking about. It would be easy that usually that's the big major event, but with the eclipses we've been having, it's sort of been in the background. It just happened on the 2nd of April, and will be direct on the 6th of May. Now, don't think that um, that you have to be paralyzed by it, afraid to act. Some people are like that with Mercury retrograde, but no, it's not really that. There are regular things that you can expect, like technical glitches or problems with your computer or something, or communication delays in travel, communication breakdown. Be careful signing contracts, but it's not the end of the world. It's not Armageddon or the end of the world. And in all of these areas, if you just prepare, get some extra time, and above all, don't get in the pit of being frustrated or exasperated, just laugh it off. Use your sense of humor and be flexible. I lived in Italy for many years, and that's one thing Italians really have down. You know, you set out in the car to go somewhere in Italy, and you know, it's taken for granted that you just might not get there, and you go out with that expectation. Well, maybe I'll make it, maybe not. You know, that's okay too. There's always tomorrow. So I'm not saying that's a good thing, but people have an attitude that they get less heart attacks that way, you know, if they are not so stressed about that. So if your attitude is flexible and you can go with the go roll with the punches and go with the flow, when Mercury is retrograde, just expect it and say, Mercury retrograde, okay, what can you do? And so be full of joy, and you can look at it as a humorous event, because it's not going to be the end of the world, and just be ready for it. But the thing that Mercury retrograde is good for, this is what it's good for. Here's what you need to do. It's the ideal time to take an honest inventory of the projects and goals and things that you've been working on, or that you're supposed to be working on and didn't, because you just let it slide, or you're having trouble, you just didn't do it. So be clear with yourself, find out where you're lagging behind. It's time to take the bull by the horns and clear up those pesky details. Say, I'm going to get it done. Do whatever it takes. Those projects you've been putting off or procrastinating, maybe you're different than me. I know I haven't. I'm finally getting my website together. I didn't tell Deborah that this is good news. I worked on it all day yesterday, for about hours yesterday, Deborah. So I have news about that. I forgot to tell you. Anyway, so me too. You know, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to me. I've been like, that's been a thorn in my saddle for a long time, and I am really going to take care of it. And I got started on it yesterday, so I'm doing it. I'm going to do it. And so take care of the details. So as I mentioned, next week we're going to have a manifestation special with some tips and tricks about manifesting, and we're going to have a really great period after the eclipse. I'll give you the details about that next week, so that you can really get some good results. But do practice mindfulness, observe your thoughts. Remember, what you put out is what you get back. Don't get stuck too much in the bad news cycles, because then you get upset, aggravated, anxious. And then you're no longer a light worker, because your light is put out. We need you to be on duty 24 hours a day. So if you start getting anxious and worried and angry about things that are looking bad, or there are some really kind of depressing things out there, you need to keep yourself in psychic space that is calm, and you need to have your little tricks. So your gratitude, your heart center, your joy, you have to keep all of those levels really high, so that you're helping out with the world, because every little person that does that makes a big difference. So um, keep yourself happy, joyful, grateful, and we need you. We need every person to be keeping their vibration elevated at this time.
That is true. That
And
is
you do
true.
make a difference. You make a difference, because the ripples go out and they touch other people, and then other people. It just changes the world in a way that is much bigger than you think. So don't think that the way that your thoughts are very important, because thoughts create the universe we're in.
We're more powerful than we ever believe. And imagine your surprise when you pass away and go to heaven, and you realized how much you affected the world, how much you could have how much more you could have done. Now, I'm not saying that to put pressure on you, but I did talk to an NDE that came back, and she said that was what she learned. I said, "What did you bring back?" And she says, the realization that we are all so much more powerful than we thought. So Ness had a question here, Lalit. I'm just going to go one by one. Whoops, sorry. What thought?
It was Venus and Jupiter. Let's see. I think I saw it. Oh, let me get this there. Okay. I had it covered up. What thoughts come up when you hear transiting Sun, Venus, and Jupiter? Very happy thoughts. Very happy thoughts. Sun is the energy that keeps all vitality going. Venus is the planet of love, harmony, peace, beauty, justice, peace, all those one artistic creativity. Jupiter is the great planet of good luck. And if you've got all that over your natal Venus, well, come down here to Vegas. You could probably make a bundle.
I like that. Let's all meet in Vegas.
But okay, I'm just joking. But actually, I'm actually not joking because it's a sign of all good things. So if you need money or you need abundance in any way, you'll have it's one of those times when everything's coming up roses and daffodils, right?
See, she's a musician. She's very
Yeah,
accomplished. She knows singing and she teaches it. Just beautiful.
the cusp of Cancer Leo. um so you're rising Libra. What, when you say on the cusp, what degree are you? Because if you are in Cancer 29 something, the Cancer influence is predominant. But as your chart progresses in through time, it evolves, so you can then head more into the Leo phase. So maybe you would be more, as a youngster, you might be more shy and introverted, and as you get older, you can want to go out on the stage or something like a Leo person. So you really need to read both signs. I'm the same thing. I'm right at the end of Libra, 2956, and I'm really Libra because you really are Libra if you are 2956, even if there's only 4 seconds different. But there is a little bit of coloring, but more if you're in Cancer. How many seconds are you away? Do you know?
I'll keep watching the
And
comments
so,
to
you know,
Jennifer's.
sometimes people, if you haven't had your chart done correctly, it could even be mistakes happen. I've seen mistakes in charts that were professionally prepared. So, yeah,
So
and those are powerful degrees. For you, the chart, we need. Oh, you look beautiful like a cat person.
she's she's from
Oh,
what is it,
Cat Mama's
America?
meow. I was just looking at your picture. I didn't see the name. Duh. Okay, Cat Mama. Yes, me too. So I need your date, time, and place. Three things: date, time, place. Now, if your time is uncertain, please tell me that. If you have a range for the time, tell me that. If you think that you can look it up and get more accurate information, please do that first, because the degree on your ascendant changes 1 degree every 4 minutes. So it's
No.
important that it be accurate as possible. There are ways to work it backwards. That's called rectification. And you can get good results with that sometimes, even if you don't have the exact birth time. But that's what we need: date, time, and place.
Oh, right. Thank you so much. I was reprimanding my little Chiweenie over here. I forgot to feed her before I went on, so she's nibbling on everything. But she's my spirit animal because she's always hungry. She's my spirit animal. And I've got our new member, Denise, here. She would like you. You did her chart, um, and she put it together
The
in this
chart for the
incredible.
eclipse that I just posted, I'm going to send that to everybody.
Oh, good.
I had mentioned that. I am going to send that to everyone. So if I sent you the lunar eclipse before, I will send you the solar eclipse with your transits going forward from that day, starting with transits from that day. So you'll get a picture of that day relating to your horoscope. and I will tell you clearly what house the eclipse is happening in for you. And I'm gonna send that to everybody. I will send you not just the eclipse, but the eclipse outside of your chart. Do you want just the eclipse all by itself too? I cast it that I did that for Nevada because that's where I am. But um, the houses, it's true. The positions of the planets and the signs will be exactly the same for everybody, and I will put it on the outside of your horoscope. If you want to see what is the eclipse where you are, that I would have to know exactly where you are, and so I'd kind of rather not do that. I'd rather put it. It's more important to have it on the outside of your chart, and you'll see it. Just it'll be this. This was the one that I did for no, this one. Yes, yes. This is the eclipse on the outer ring. And so yours will look just like this. Your natal chart will be inside the inner ring where the yellow line is, just like the one I sent you for the lunar eclipse. And then the solar eclipse stuff will be on the outer ring. So you can see how it lines up. And there will be little lines on the inside that are telling you what the aspects are. So it's kind of busy, a lot of information there. And that's, this is something you can look at over time. You put it in a little notebook, and then maybe a year later you can look at that and say, wow, now I understand that, because you can think about what happened to you, and you'll have some events in your life to hook it to. So keep track of this and keep little notes of what happened to you.
Okay. So I have SR Kish. Lalit, is there any relationship changes in my chart? Romantic.
Okay, so I will give me a second to can we go to. Oh, I have it there. I already have it up. What am I thinking? That's
You
you,
have what up?
Suzanne, right? Suzanne, that's you.
Okay.
Romantic? Are we asking romantic? And this is Suzanne?
Yes, it's
Yes,
Suzanne
Suzanne. Okay.
Kish.
So if we, I think that this is not this, looking at this eclipse chart here, you're going to be far too busy in your career things, and it's not the moment at this time for you to be focused on relationships. And I'm not looking ahead here. I don't have my wheel set up for the future, but for the next month, no. After that, I would have to look ahead. You have your natal Venus is also in Aries, and so it is a Venus return. So there might be some new beginnings, but I think it might be more. You're more oriented toward the external than you're standing in your work and your career than you are in relationships. There's a lot of energy going to that. You're going to be very busy, I think, doing things in this area. So for the next month, I think you have your hands full. So I wouldn't think you might make introductions to people. You might meet someone, and that would later develop, because that is a possibility here with your Venus in Aries and all of these things right over it. It could come about through workplace or career searches, or meeting people in a new work environment, that you may make introductions with people that will later develop into something, but not in the next month.
Okie doke. Thank you so much. And I have another question here from Dawn, I believe. Oh, there you are. Good. Dawn says, how about a triple Virgo with 6 things in Virgo and whoops, I lost Lalit. So the answer lady, we're going to have to hide it. The answer lady just left stage right. She just flicked the wrong switch. So it's just me right this second, but she'll be right back. Here she is.
Clicked to
Hey.
get rid of that chart, and I hit, and underneath the chart was the StreamYard
Oh,
tag.
well, we,
And it hit, and it completely logged me out. I'm glad I got back. I went, oh
oh
no,
no,
no.
you're not gone forever. We stalk
I was
you.
able,
It
okay.
just keeps
So,
coming back in. So here we
so
are.
what is the question?
How about a
Triple
triple Virgo with 6 things in Virgo and Mars in Scorpio? Maybe I should send my time of birth.
Yes.
Oh,
Dawn,
yes. Hi, Dawn. Yes, you are a
Dawn,
personal friend of mine.
yes. Okay. Well, listen, Dawn, could you come over here and help me with my house? I'm really disorganized. I really need you.
Triple Virgo. Oh, yes.
So what is did you have a specific question?
Uh, okay, let me check over here. I'm waiting for you to respond. I'm going to go all the way down here.
It would be better. Send you, because if I don't have your birth time, it's much less accurate. So what I'm doing is I'm putting everyone's data in a file that's just for this group. And so when you ask me a question, I have it handy and I can pull it up and look at it. So that would be
Okay.
better. But
I went out with a Virgo. Didn't feel dressed up enough. And I saw my lipstick was faded and I went, oh, and I thought, no, he's not the one. He's not the one for me.
uh,
Oh my gosh. Here's another. You have something more to say?
well, I was just thinking,
Let me,
just generally speaking, Virgo is in an aspect with Aries that creates adjustment. A lot of maybe worry. You maybe have some worry and anxieties, and I don't know, without knowing your birth time, I wouldn't know in what area. But don't be worried. Don't worry. Be happy. That's your motive for this eclipse, because your anxiety is not going to be good for you at this point. So counterproductive. So don't worry. Send me your birth time and I'll know more. I'll send you a report in the email, okay? Um, okay. I let me just hold up a sign with it. I had a little card here, but it's
just,
here it is. I have a little card. It's all made out from
but
before.
my email is just my name at yahoo.com. Well, let me get out of the way. Just a moment.
I'm sorry. That is my email address, astrology vibrations with an S at the end at gmail.com. Send me your date, time, and place of birth. Can everybody see that? Astrology vibrations at gmail.com. Date, time, and place. And by next month, it'll be astrologyvibrations.com.
Well, we do have Cynthia here. Cynthia Smith.
Cynthia,
Lalit is Lalit receiving emails? I have sent an
I
email
I
and no
sent
response.
I sent you an email today.
Check your
Cynthia,
email and let us know.
I sent you an email today.
Okay, I'm looking
And
here.
I sent you all your charts and everything. Did you not get it? That was a
Um,
long time ago. I sent you just a letter today, but I sent you your charts and stuff before.
Ness says I sent an email 2 weeks ago and haven't heard a response.
I have not answered Ness.
Okay, but you did get it. All right, that's all it is.
Let me see. I have a list here of several people that I have not done, and
You don't have to send it again. I think she's got it.
um, Ness, do you have a handle? Does it say NB on your name? I'm not sure. I'll look right now. I'll look.
So Cynthia says she got the charts. She
Okay,
says thank you.
and I sent you a little letter this afternoon
A little love note.
answering your question that you had, answering what you told me.
So Ness just sent it again, but you already have Ness's. It is raining so hard today, it kicked me out of the live. I had to come back in. This rain is fabulous. I just cleaned my pond and it went down like 5 inches. And I thought, I'll let God fill my pond up. Ness says, can I ask a second question? Of course. That's why we're here.
I'm still looking for her name. I was trying to do a search. How would Ness? How would your name appear?
In a regular email. Laura Hammond Davis. Oh, no.
Laura?
No. Sorry. That's not Ness. But Laura Hammond Davis just joined us. Thank
Laura.
you. I sent the email 2 minutes ago.
Oh, you sent me in one 2 minutes ago?
Yeah, it's in your inbox.
NB. Yes, it does say NB. Yes, I do have it. NB. Is that
It's
you,
good to see
Ness? N, letter N, and then B?
you.
Okay.
Yep, that's me, she says. Yep, that's me. We're getting our group together. We're getting our sisters together, our guys together. And I saw Dennis, I saw you, and today's an anniversary for you. I believe it's the passing of your father, what I read here. So blessings all over you. I do hope that he visits you often. You are so in touch with the other side. And I think you're okay. And yes, Cynthia Smith says, I apologize, received your email. That's good. As long as we're all happy and we get that Mercury retrograde. I blame everything on Mercury retrograde, but I got to tell you, I was born under one. So it doesn't really affect me as much. I don't think I end up unscathed. Hate to brag, but it's the way it is. So we are getting to the top of the hour, my friend. Lalit is feverishly.
Here's what I would suggest.
Okay.
Um, can you still see me? Am I still there? Okay.
Yep.
Ness, I I would like to suggest that I show you something really cool next week to answer your question. I can show you how the planets move around and how they look in the middle of May and exactly what's going on. How about that? Are you game? And I think it might be a very good illustration, I'm guessing, for our manifestation talk also. So how about I show you, can I show your chart? You can send me an email if you don't want me to do that. Send me an email, say I don't want you to do that. But I cover up your data
Cover up the data.
so we won't let any
Wait a minute.
personal info out, and just show what I like to do is show the transits moving on the outer wheel. We can move them day by day or week by week, month by month, year by year to see how things are progressing. And I'd like to show that as an example because that is the coolest thing ever. I think you'd really enjoy that. And it would be pertinent to our manifestation talk.
We're going to have some. And then I would like everyone here to just take, have an idea of just making note of the wonderful things that happen to you. Manifesting material things are great. Manifesting blessings. If someone says, God bless you, I mean, that's a gift that comes through. So you see if it doesn't get faster and more abundant this year. Let me just see here. Dennis is, and no, I didn't hear anything from my dad. He was a quiet man when he was alive. Oh, wow. I know he's with you though. So let's see. So Ness says, sure, why not? But Ness, and then she says, I may change my mind before Friday, but she doesn't, we don't have to say anything about Ness. It's just, we take off everything.
It's not going to be anything bad with those transits you're having. Believe me, it's going to be something good news.
Awesome.
For the middle of May, you want to see. So
awesome.
I won't say anything nasty about you, I promise.
No way, man. She doesn't have a nasty word for anybody. No, she doesn't. So, I got to tell you, it's time to, you have a new student in Denise that's showed up tonight. She is so prepared.
Denise, I did not forget about the book. I went so far as to go on Amazon and see if the book I wanted to recommend to you, it's on Amazon and it says not currently available, and they don't know when they're going to have it because it's out of print. So they get like used copies and whatnot. So I went that far. Then I went, oh shoot, because I really like that book and you can't get it. So I'm still looking around. I still don't have the answer to your question, but I did make that first step.
Awesome.
So I'll find you a substitute for that.
Oh, that's great. Well, the hook is coming as we dance. I adore each and every one of you. Thank you for staying to the end. I appreciate it. Like and subscribe. You know all that. You know the drill. Thank you so much. I love you all. We'll see you next Friday, if not somewhere in between. God bless you all.
God bless you.